and welcome back to Core 4 Adventures. We just got back from spending 3 wonderful days in New York City right before we got on a 7-day cruise on the NCL getaway to Bermuda. We were there June 5th through the 7th, and to get the most out of our visit, we took part in the New York CityPASS. We got so much out of this, seeing all the fun attractions, that we just wanted to share it with you today.
But before we get into the details, don't forget to like this video if you get anything out of it, and subscribe to our channel and turn that notification bell on so you don't miss any of our content.
And if you want to get us New York CityPASS for yourself, we're going to have a link down below in the description. And if you use that link, it really helps our channel out.
But it doesn't cost you anything extra. It was, Carol, and my first time in New York City. New York City, the Big Apple, the city that never sleeps. So much to do and see that we wanted to be in the heart and center of it all. So we decided to stay in Times Square.
Yeah, there is so much to do and see in New York that we knew that we weren't going to be able to do it all in 3 days. So we really needed to prioritize the big things that we wanted to see and check them off our bucket list.
And I think that's where the CityPASS came in clutch. It had specific things that you got with it, and then you got to choose a few different activities. And it really helped us to narrow down what we wanted to do and lock in our itinerary.
And it really made it easy because we bought one ticket and we got into so many different attractions on just that one ticket. It really streamlined the entire process for us. Now, we did do some things outside of the CityPASS, like we went to a couple Broadway shows, we went to the Met Museum that wasn't on the CityPASS, but most of the sightseeing that we did while we were in New York City was part of the New York CityPASS.
So what is the New York CityPASS? There are actually several cities in the United States that have these city passes, and we did one in Seattle, and we really enjoyed that. So we looked into one in New York.
And in fact, if you'd like to see our experience with the Seattle CityPASS, we're going to link that video for you here. We had a wonderful time in Seattle.
So the New York CityPASS allows you access to 5 different attractions for one low price. 2 of those attractions are locked in. You're going to get tickets to the Empire State Building, but it's actually a really cool way to see the Empire State Building, in that you get to go one time at whatever time of day you want to go, and a second time after 9 p.m. So we went in the morning and we had a fantastic time seeing the city, but to get to see those lights at night, it was special.
It was so special and not crowded. Like hardly anybody goes back for the nighttime viewing. And if I had to pick to seeing it during the day or at nighttime, I picked the nighttime. There's not something special about the lights of Manhattan that you just can't replicate.
And you're not just seeing New York from the Empire State Building. There's actually a whole museum that you're going to walk through on your way to the decks.
Yeah.
You get to go to deck 80 and
86.
I think 86.
Yeah.
And one's an indoor deck and one's an outdoor deck. And there's so many cool things to learn about how the Empire State Building was built. It was fascinating.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was really a highlight of our trip.
And then the other fixed event is to go to the American Museum of Natural History. Of course, that's where Night at the Museum was filmed. We had such a great time. We spent so much time looking at the different fossils and the dinosaurs, and the surprise hit for us was the gemstone and mineral area.
Yeah.
We had no idea that was there.
And we love jewelry, so of course that was a big hit for us. There were butterflies. We went through the butterfly exhibit. We had a lovely lunch there as well.
As a matter of fact, included in that ticket, you get to go to one of their special events. So we chose the butterfly one, but there was a planetarium and some other choices. So you can choose what's right for your family.
Other than the 2 that are fixed, you get to select 3 more attractions. You get a choice of 3 out of 6 that are still available to you. The first one being the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. That's going to take place down at One World Trade Center. We did get to see that from the water, but we didn't make it down there this trip. We'll have to put that on a list for the next time we're in New York. The next thing is you could take the ferry out to Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty. Now, the ferry ride does not include your ticket to go up in the Statue of Liberty, but if you want to do that, book that ahead of time because I do hear that they sell out. And then one of them that we did do was we got tickets to go to the Top of the Rock. That is 30 Rockefeller Center. That is a big complex where a lot of your NBC shows are taped, like The Tonight Show and Saturday Night Live. Well, we got to go to the very top of it, to the observation deck, and they've got a new ride up there called The Beam, where they recreate that famous picture of the iron workers that built the skyscrapers in New York City, and we got to ride that. That was a lot of fun. That was definitely number one on my New York City bucket list.
That is a little bit of an extra charge, but it was well worth it, and it was discounted the day we went.
Yeah, super fun.
So there's also an option to go to tour the Intrepid. Mm-hmm. The USS Intrepid is a naval ship that has been decommissioned. It's actually in the dockyard slip right next to the NCL Getaway. So we got to see it from afar, but we didn't tour it on this trip. You could also go to the Guggenheim, which we had on our list.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we got so tired that we had to cut something off of our trip, and that's the one we chose to cut.
Yeah, we will go back in at another time, but we just couldn't squeeze more into our itinerary. But one of the things that we did do, which was probably my favorite thing on the CityPass, was the Circle Line Harbor Cruise.
That Circle Line Harbor Cruise was amazing. Now, you get access to one Circle Line cruise, and they have lots of different ones if you don't want to do the Sunset Harbor Cruise, but we chose to do the Sunset Harbor Cruise that went right by the Statue of Liberty. It didn't just go by the Statue of Liberty, it actually parked right next to the Statue of Liberty, just 100 yards or so away for probably 10-15 minutes so we could get some really great pictures. It was a very special trip, and a couple from Italy even got engaged on our ship.
Yeah, and in addition to the Statue of Liberty, you get to see the New York City skyline as the lights were coming on. We got to go underneath the Brooklyn Bridge. It was just really my favorite part. Of course, I love being on the water. Give me a boat tour and I'm a happy girl. But that was my favorite part of the attractions that we did with the New York CityPASS.
That one was really special. So obviously you heard what we chose, but you can choose from any of those. And I just think it's a great value, and it helps you to choose what you're going to do on your itinerary so that you don't feel overwhelmed by all of the things that you could choose to do in New York City.
And you have 9 days from the date of when you first use your CityPass ticket to when they expire. So it gives you a lot of flexibility in your trip. So once you start, you've got 9 days to get through all of the attractions that you have available to you on the pass you selected.
Now, like Carol said, when we were there, we did do some things that weren't part of our New York CityPass because, well, we just wanted to. We wanted to go see some Broadway shows, and we did. We went to see The Lion King.
And Aladdin. Super fun.
The Lion King was just, there's no other word for it but spectacular.
And the Aladdin show, the Aladdin Broadway show, was hilarious. We laughed and it had so much fun the entire time. I actually think I liked that one better than the Lion King. And then on top of that, we also have a friend that lives in Brooklyn. Hi, Carolyn! And we met her one day and we went to the Met, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and then we went out to lunch. We had a lovely afternoon with her, and that was not included in our CityPass.
Right, we really did, and I wouldn't skip any of that, but there's lots of great options on the CityPass, and it's a great way to help you plan your trip. Now let's do a cost breakdown to see if the CityPass is really worth it. So our New York City passes as of June of 2025 were $154 plus tax, and when you compare the most expensive attractions on the list to that, they would cost $210 plus tax.
Exactly. So we were definitely saving money by going with that all-inclusive ticket. Let's break it down for you. Again, as of June of 2025, the Empire State Building for 2 entries was $64. The American Museum of Natural History was $30. Circle Line Cruise for the Sunset Tour that we took was $33. The Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island Ferry was $25.50. The 9/11 Memorial Museum was $36. The Intrepid Museum cost, the ticket was $38. The Guggenheim Museum was $30, and Top of the Rock was $42. So depending on what you selected, you could really save a lot of money. We definitely did.
We did. And it was also very convenient because you got all your tickets in one place. And yes, you do have to make reservations for some of them, but it was super easy to do.
Yeah, it could not be easier. it was definitely a great experience to use the City Pass to go to all of those attractions in New York City. So let's go over some tips about sightseeing in New York in general. First of all, we were there in early June and it was hot. I think we were a little surprised by how hot it was. And it wasn't so much that the temperature was high, it was just so humid. And you've got to be prepared to do a lot of walking. So take good walking shoes. Even though we mastered the New York City subway, I'm really proud of us for doing that. There's still a lot of walking. So take some water, make sure you're kind to yourself, build in breaks throughout the day as well.
Another great tip is to go to some of the most popular attractions earlier in the day. The earlier you go, the less crowded it's going to be.
Or go late at night like we did at the Empire State Building, because it wasn't crowded there at all. We pretty much had the place to ourselves.
I think we ran into that in a couple of different places where we went nice and early, and by the time we were leaving places, they were packed, but we had had a really nice experience. And definitely make reservations. Now, some of the things on the New York City Pass require reservations, but even if they don't, making reservations really helps you to set your itinerary and keep you on track.
And we found it really easy to navigate New York City. Google Maps was our friend. It really makes it easy that it's in a grid pattern. The city itself is. The subway was so easy to navigate for us. I really love that they've got tap to pay to get into the subway, because that makes it so simple. We encountered that in London as well, and we loved it on the London Tube. So New York is doing something right there. But yeah, navigation, don't be too intimidated, because we figured it out pretty easily.
And don't forget to pack a couple snacks for yourself and get plenty of rest in between the attractions. The first day we went full tilt, and by day 2, we knew that we were going to have to cut something out of our itinerary because we had just overprogrammed ourselves.
Yeah, and make sure that you're planning times to eat, so that is built into your itinerary. I think some days we got to like 2-3 o'clock and realized we hadn't had lunch yet. So make sure that you do that as well. Take care of yourself, take it easy, go slow, but you're going to have a great time in New York City. So on top of the regular New York City Pass, they have a couple other options that are available to you. The first one is called the C3.
Yes, the C3, where you can choose any 3 of the attractions that we've talked about, and there's a couple other options.
Different attractions.
Attractions available for one low price as well.
Yeah. That's going to be a cheaper version because you're seeing less attractions. You only get to select 3 of them. And they've got different options. You'll have to check that out.
Or if you're going to spend more time in the city and want to see everything on the list, you can get the See All Pass, which gives you access to everything we've talked about.
Yeah, so that's going to give you access to, 9 different attractions or 10?
I think it gives you 10 different attractions, so there's even some that we haven't mentioned.
Yeah, so that's a lot of places to go. Of course, you have to do that through the 9-day window, but it may be worth it. It is definitely a more expensive pass. So check it out if that's what's going to fit your needs as well.
But again, if you're interested in doing the New York City Pass, we do have a link in the comment section below. And if you click that, it really helps our channel and it won't cost you anything extra. So, do we think that the New York City Pass was worth it, Carol?
Absolutely. I love doing the City Pass when I'm going to a big city. Like Laura said, there are so many of them for cities throughout the United States, and I think that the value really is there. It's also really easy to use, and it helps you focus your itinerary so you're hitting the big ones, the big things that you want to see. We've had a great experience with the City Pass in Seattle, and we had another great experience with it in New York City.
I agree. I think we saved money. It focused our trip, and it allowed us to not have to worry about things. Like, it was all one purchase and it was just done. Yeah. But now for the most important thing that we like to show on these recap videos.
It's our souvenirs. It's everybody's favorite part to see what we got as souvenirs on our travel. So why don't I go first? So I'm going to start off. I do the Christmas tree ornaments. That's what I typically buy as souvenirs as we are out traveling. And I'm going to start off with the Empire State Building. And this one's all shiny, like the lights are on at night. I really liked this one. That's going to look spectacular on our Christmas tree. On top of the Empire State Building, we went to Top of the Rock, and I got 2 ornaments from Top of the Rock. The first one is the recreation of the beam, the ironworkers sitting on top of the beam in New York City up in the air having lunch. We rode the beam, so I thought that was really appropriate. And then on our way out, I found another ornament about the beam, and I really liked it, and I couldn't say no. So that's more of a 3D ornament right there.
We really liked that one a little better. If we'd seen that one, we probably wouldn't have bought the other one, but we'd already bought it, so now we have 2.
It says Top of the Rock on the back, and that was just a really great memory for us. At the Met Museum, they didn't have Christmas tree ornaments. I looked and looked.
Not that we liked.
No, I looked and looked and looked and couldn't find one. So when that happens, I get a little creative. They have this. It is an eraser, but it's got a hole in it. So I'm going to put a little ribbon through that, and it is like an artist palette, and it says the Met on the back. So that's going to be my Christmas tree ornament from the Met. And then we went to a couple Broadway shows. So I have got from the Lion King, they gave me a keychain. That's also a little tip that I have, is sometimes I'll turn keychains into Christmas tree ornaments. So that's the logo from the Lion King. And then I got a package deal with the Aladdin show where they had Genie's lamp, and I couldn't resist that.
How cute is that?
One of them that I pre-ordered when I got our tickets was the magic lamp that the genie's in, and it came with a keychain as well that I'm also going to turn into a Christmas tree ornament or a magnet. I may turn this into a magnet, but those were the souvenirs that I got on our trip to New York City.
And of course, we always do refrigerator magnets too. Let's see where to start. So the first one is just the quintessential skyline of New York City with the Empire State Building in the front. Just absolutely loved that. And of course, nothing says New York like the Statue of Liberty.
I love this one.
Just loved this little New York statue head. I had to get that one. We did go to a couple Broadway shows, so I got one from the Lion King, similar to the one she's going to turn into the Christmas tree ornament. And then I love this one. We went to the American Museum of Natural History, and it's got little dinosaurs hanging from it because we spent a lot of time in the dinosaur section.
That one's really adorable.
We went to the Top of the Rock, and I couldn't resist this at the Top of the Rock.
Oh, but this one I think is perhaps my favorite souvenir of the entire trip.
So we bought that first ornament or magnet, and then we ran into this little booth where we could make a magnet out of any picture that we had. So we took the picture of us on the beam and put it on a magnet. This is my favorite magnet of the whole trip.
So it's a picture of us on a magnet that gets to go on our travel magnet board. We're really, really excited about that one.
The Met actually didn't have magnets or Christmas tree ornaments, so we had to think a little outside the box. So I got this little paperweight for the Met, and we're going to put a magnet on the back of it.
Yeah.
Now, on top of that, we got a couple of extra things, and that is our very own little Empire State Building. Carol got one too, and she's already got it in her office, but I've got mine for here.
Yeah, and it says New York at the bottom right here, and yeah, it just is to commemorate our trip.
And nothing says New York, like I said, like the Statue of Liberty. So I had to get a little Statue of Liberty for my shelf as well.
So those are our souvenirs from this trip to New York City. We had such a great time with the New York CityPASS. Highly recommend if you're going to go there, take advantage of that. And we also were in New York City so that we could get on a 7-day cruise to Bermuda on the NCL Getaway. And if you'd like to see that entire series, we've got that available for you. Or we're also going to link it to a video that we just did that recaps that entire cruise if you're interested in that as well.
Have you ever been to New York City?
Yeah.
Do you have any tips for us for the future? We will be going back because we definitely didn't get to see everything. Or if you have any questions about the New York CityPASS, please put any of that in the comment section below.
And thanks so much for watching today. We hope that you enjoyed this, and we hope that you use the New York CityPASS for yourself. Thanks again. We will see you next time on 4 Adventures.
Bye!